HD television is on the air. Welcome to my weekly gripe here at the AC Insider. You can find us at www.hcampbellmedia.com. Here you'll find interviews, reviews, different timely news stories, blogs, things like that, and so much more. But today, I want to talk about my take on forgiveness. And then basically, I'm just letting you know this is A.C. Campbell's take on forgiveness. You forgive your own way. I'm just giving you my take on it. John 8, verse 7. So when they continued asking him, he lifted himself up and said unto them, He that is without sin, let him cast a stone at her. For those who don't know the story, there was a woman that was caught in the act of adultery. And by law, she was to be stoned to death. Jesus walked up and told them what they were going to do. He picked up a few stones. He passed them out, saying, Y'all want to stone this woman? She did break the law. Have at it. But there's a catch. Any of you who have not sinned can cast that stone. Everybody looked at each other like, never sinned. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And that's exactly what this blog is about. This blog is about forgiveness. How long will it be until you stop holding a grudge at your fellow man, your brother, your spouse, your best friend, somebody you had a falling out with? I talked about forgiveness a few weeks ago, and I hate to rehash this, and I'm not going to make the whole blog about this, the whole Will Smith thing. He made a mistake. Okay, he did it, move on. People make mistakes. People make mistakes every day. And we act like that we're so perfect that we can't make the same mistakes. And the mistake can be just as simple as accidentally ate something of yours, or accidentally said something I shouldn't have, or it can be just as simple. And I understand why you would be mad. I would be mad too, and yes, I will continue on being mad. But at some point, I would have to pray to let that go, because anger and all that frustration weakens your body. It increases your blood pressure, and the longer you stay mad at them, boom. Because you're not forgiving just for the sake of them. You're forgiving for the sake of yourself. Now I want to talk about serious things. Like, for example, your spouse cheats on you, or you get into a fight with a best friend and he or she says some derogatory things towards you, or things like that. Even if they're not sorry, forgiving them will save you. Because at some point here in a few weeks, I'm going to be talking about relationships. That's one of the big things about entering relationships, whether they're romantic or just friendship level relationships. You don't want to take garbage. You wouldn't buy a new home and take the garbage from your last home and bring it there. No, you throw away all the garbage. Same thing with forgiving others. You cannot assume because one person did something to you that the other did as well. You have to take everyone at face value. Because if you don't forgive and you don't allow yourself to heal, you're going to think everyone's going to do you the same dirty way that the last person did. And you're going to be always watching your back. Now, I'm not saying don't always be careful because everyone doesn't have good intentions towards you. But what I'm saying is give everyone a chance. I'm going to give you a chance to mess up. Until then, you're on a limited basis with me. You have trust has to be earned. Where I can invite you into my home, where I can introduce you to my children, where I can introduce you to my spouse, where I can do things with you and not have to worry about my safety, my marriage, or my relationship with my children. That's what I mean by you always have to forgive in order to start new relationships. That's the biggest thing. Now, we'll talk about one of the biggest things of forgetting. Sometimes it's hard to forget. When your spouse cheats, yes, I'm saying this, you have to forgive them, not for you, not for them, but for you, in order to move on. Because whether they continue cheating or whether they stop cheating, you're always going to have things in the back of your head. So that means you're going to have to make a choice. Whether you want to be there for the long haul or just leave. The reason I give you those two choices is because you stay in there and you find out you can't trust your spouse anymore. There's no need to be there and your marriage is sour. Why stay unhappy for another 20, 30 years? Make a clean break and then we're done. Now, as far as forgiveness goes with anything, and I'm not even just talking about spouses, if you feel that any relationship is flawed, whether it be friendship, relatives, things like that, if you know that someone is toxic, even after you forgive them, you break away. Which is bringing me to the other part of forgiveness. Speaking to the narcissistic right now. I forgive everything that you do. However, until you change your behavior, I'm not going to forget a damn thing. So you got people that feel that because they're in a certain position, they can do whatever they want to. And just because of who you are, you're going to always forgive them. Well, right now, there are certain points where you're going to have to cut people off no matter who they are. So you're going to have people, because to me, change behavior is an apology. The fact that you regret what you've done is an apology. The fact that you feel bad for what you've done is an apology. You have some people who will say they're sorry just to get your sympathy, and then 2 to 3 months later doing the exact same thing. But these are also the same people that nothing's ever their fault. Anytime they're in a conflict, it's always them, not me. I've done nothing to do the conflict. Can you help me? Help me out, help a brother out. No, I'm not going to help a brother out, especially when they do things for themselves. I've been told so many times, yes, you are supposed to forgive 70 times 7. That's all fine and good. I forgive everything. Everybody does to me. But the point is, that doesn't say they still get a ticket back in your life so they can ruin it again. You got guys who date women, who cheat on their women like that, or women that cheat on men like that in relationships, where they talk about, oh, he's gonna always take me back, or she's gonna always take me back. Yeah, I can cheat so many times, she'll get mad at me, and we'll have a falling out, but then when you find out that they move on, then your mouth is all poked out. Then you're all upset. Then no. People have limits. Forgiveness have limits. Doesn't mean I have to have you back in my house. See, I've actually had people at my house who disrespected me and took advantage of me and tried to disrespect me in my own house, and then have the nerve to try to say, well, I need another place to stay again, and actually get mad when I say no. See, that's narcissism. See, this is where forgiveness gets cut off at the knees. I thought you said you forgave me. I did, but that don't mean I have to put you back in my life. You have not changed one bit. I can see that you haven't changed. So for you narcissistic people that's out there thinking somebody's gonna always forgive your bad antics, and then you find out your friends are slowly walking away from you, your parents are slowly walking away from you, your siblings walking away from you, everybody done walked away from you, and then you want to do the war is me, nobody loves me, da da da, and all that bull crap. A light bulb's got to go off in your head at some point to say, hey, maybe I do need to make some changes. Now, here's where the problem's going to lie. If you have a history of doing this to people, it's going to take forever for them to see some changes. So don't think you're going to say you're sorry, and then in 2 weeks, they're going to bring you in with open heart. No, they're going to want to see results. But what I'm not going to do is co-sign your bad behavior. Now, back to me. I'm not perfect. I've done some people wrong, not on purpose, but I mean, I'm human. I mean, I burned some bridges I felt I didn't have to for the sake of positive family or what have you. But again, I'm only human. If I felt that I've wronged you in any way, I do apologize. And I really do mean that from the bottom of my heart. You don't have to forgive me. You don't have to talk to me or what have you. Now, I make every effort to do everyone 100% right. If I fall short somewhere, then again I apologize. Even if it was a relationship I was in, I do apologize. And I hope you do pray you might forgive me as you move on to your new relationship. I pray that God blesses us all, no matter what's going on and no matter where we are in life. We're living on borrowed time. It's something I wrote myself. Those of you who continue to live on your path of evil and destruction, always thinking your parents will always take you back, your significant other will always take you back, just because they always forgive. Let me tell you, God forgives, and we as humans should forgive. But if you're not out to change your behavior, I'm not forgetting a damn thing, and neither will they. My thing is, I strive to be a better person every day, as a lot of you guys do. Let's try to be better together. Thank you, and thank you for listening to my blog. Let your writing fuel your spirit. God bless. You're watching an HD television production.